In this video, we're going to talk about one of the biggest problems with Halo Infinite right now, and it's desync, which is a problem that has supposedly been fixed. However, clip after clip keeps coming out, and even my own personal experience with desync has shown that desync is not fixed, and it might be worse than ever. So we need to break it all down, but go to the GameLeap website right now if you want to quickly dominate all the way to the Onyx rank, or even beyond with in-depth pro breakdowns, tips and tricks, and so much more. Do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below. Now, desync has been a problem in the game since launch, but 343 had a big update and response to desync previously. First, they said a lot of it was caused by geo-filtering because people were playing in your lobby that weren't supposed to be and you were getting put on really high ping. And then they had a really complicated breakdown of how you'll see an enemy depending on when they peak, who has the better ping, and different things like that. And then they also say that there is a certain amount of desync that they'll never get rid of. And I'll get to that last point in a second, but first, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is desync is still here, and it's incredibly bad. Take a look at this gameplay footage right here of one of the most atrocious examples that I have ever seen. Okay, not only did he shoot him like a million times here, but he also died to a hammer that wasn't even freaking close to him. And the person that posted this on Reddit said that they are actually uninstalling Halo Infinite because of this. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't blame them at all. This is freaking terrible in my personal opinion. And, you know, I've been playing the game a lot more recently, and I've been noticing desync myself. And the interesting thing here is it's not related to ping. I have a ping counter. You can put a ping counter on the top right of your screen. There's an in-game setting for it. And my ping, even when it's 30, 20, I was still getting desync. I was still getting shots that weren't registering at all, like just no regs that were happening every once in a while. It wasn't like this. It wasn't to this extent, but I was also playing ranked where it's probably going to happen less. It's a smaller server with more isolated components. And on top of that, I have incredibly good internet connection where I'm at, so maybe that has something to do with it. I have no idea. But still, desync happening in general is just freaking ridiculous when a lot of other games don't have desync anywhere near to that level. Valorant almost doesn't get desync. Overwatch has desync very, very sparsely. You'll only typically get no regs and things like that when you are playing a projectile-based character, someone that has a weapon that has a really, really far travel time, because the bullet is also something that needs to be coded. I'm not going to get too into that, but with Halo, the desync is an incredibly big problem because a single registered shot that doesn't register could mean the difference between you winning or losing a fight. It can mean the difference between you hitting or missing a melee, and it is just something that absolutely needs to fix. And something I wanted to talk about is when 343 made that initial post, they did talk about the fact that there's some amount of desync that they can never get rid of, which is 100% true, but it shouldn't be worse than how it used to be. It shouldn't be worse than like the desync in Halo 3 or some of the older Halos. It should be better. Even if it's still there, that's fine. The problem is when you have situations like that, like this clip where people are bursting over and over and over again and getting no damage, what the actual fuck is going on? Why is this happening if all of the geo-filtering is gotten rid of and the pings are actually brought down to a reasonable level? Now, someone else in the comment section brought up the fact that you could be absolutely stomping enemies because they are dealing with desync, and then you could get absolutely stomped in the next game because you are dealing with desync, and you're still playing good. Like, you're playing the same, but it doesn't matter because the desync is negatively affecting your gameplay, which I could see being a really big problem for just improving and consistency and things like that. So what have we learned? We learned that desync is still a big problem in the game. We also learned that just because you have good ping doesn't mean you won't suffer from desync. And I don't think that having the justification that there will be desync no matter what is something that any of us are willing to accept. I think it's incredibly important that the desync is kept to an absolute minimum. Now, it's clear at this point that Halo has a lot of problems, and I think the biggest word to define what is going on with Halo Infinite is unpolished. And this is not just a problem with Halo, it's a problem of modern gaming. I think I want to make an entire video talking about it, but the synopsis is modern gaming pushes out unfinished products to make a quick buck on the free-to-play business model, only for the game to actually be an alpha or a beta that won't be completed many years down the line, or they'll just abandon the project and, you know, launch a new game, a Halo Battle Royale, whatever, or do the same thing and then abandon it again. It's just incredibly frustrating, and I don't want to be too negative because I do think that the developers are going to make Halo a good game in the long term, but I am frustrated that they put this game out as an incompleted mess in the fucking first place. Yeah, it's just incredibly frustrating. This game shouldn't have came out for at least another year, in my personal opinion. But I want to hear your personal opinion on DESYNC. How have you been dealing with it? How do you feel about modern gaming and Halo Infinite? I want to know all about that down below. And if you want to support the channel, go check out the GameLeap website down below for tons of in-depth tips and tricks about not just Halo, but many other FPS shooters and even other esports titles. Do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below.